These 4 habits might be causing your viewers to stop watching your video. If you're a YouTube creator with less than 100 or less than 1,000 or maybe even more subscribers, but you're struggling to get views on your videos or get returning viewers to come back, I say this with all of the love in the world for you. It might be because your videos are not easy to watch. I was guilty of these habits too. I believed that if I just emulate what I see other YouTube creators doing, then I will also be a successful YouTube creator. But what I wasn't seeing were the things successful creators weren't doing in their videos until I noticed them in my videos and other people pointed them out for me. Gotta love those YouTube comments, right? My name is Meredith, and I'm here to help you build a thriving YouTube channel. And breaking some of these beginnerish habits now is going to pay off for you huge in the future. Because if you continue making videos with these habits that are so easy to break, even if people are coming to your channel in droves thanks to your top-notch SEO, you'll probably have a hard time building an audience and a community of viewers who keep coming back if your videos are distracting or annoying or just hard to watch. So let's break some of those bad habits right here, right now, so that you will be perceived as the knowledgeable subject matter expert in your niche. So habit number 1, this is something you can stop doing at any time, or better yet, don't even start doing this to begin with. And that is looking at yourself in your screen on your camera or on your desktop instead of looking directly at the lens. Can you imagine if I was talking to you and then I was looking just past you, just enough for you to notice that my eyes are darting back and forth? I flip my screen around on my camera. I can see myself in my peripheral vision down here on my actual computer screen, but I'm not looking at myself as I'm talking to you. That would be weird. No, I'm looking at you through this lens. That's how it feels like we're just having a conversation. Now, does that mean we should never take our eyes off of the lens? That would be like locking eyes with somebody and having a conversation and never looking away. That would also be unnatural. This is a person you're talking to. If you look around, if you look out the window, if you're thinking and you're looking up, that's totally normal and natural. But if you have something to say, something important to share with your audience, you should probably be looking at them and not yourself. And it's no big deal. It's just a habit that you can break. Habit number 2 is forgetting that you're gonna have to go and edit this video that you're recording. There is a concept called shoot to edit, which is just kind of keeping in mind when you're shooting a video that you are eventually gonna have to pull this into an editor. One of the habits that I used to do all the time is just let my sentences run on and not really have a good natural spot to have a break because I'm trying to think of words off the top of my head, and it makes it really hard to edit later because you want to have these clear, concise sentences. You can cut in between every single sentence if you want to. If you looked at my edits, you would see that I'm pretty much cutting in between every single one of my sentences or every few sentences. And when I stop a sentence, I do exactly what you just saw me do here. I stop talking. I take a breath. I might even look at my notes and then pick up where I left off. You're kind of like framing it in silence so that you have places to make those cuts. It's going to come off as so much more natural because you're not trying to cut in the middle of words. I want to throw in a little extra habit here. This is more like a live streaming or podcast recording habit. Finishing sentences with Now, I'm not a person that like gets rid of every single and every single like I think your videos, your podcast, anything should sound natural. It should sound like you're having a natural conversation. But sometimes what happens in my brain is I'm answering a question or I'm saying something and I might say like this thing XYZ and that thing 1, 2, 3 and I'm waiting for more ideas to come into my brain so they can come out of my mouth. And if they don't ever come, then I've just ended that sentence with I tried to end my sentences in a clean way. So we talked about not looking at yourself when you're recording your videos. We talked about not trying to string your sentences together because it makes it really hard and awkward to cut later on. Let's talk about what is happening in those cuts between your clips, because This is kind of the magic of editing YouTube videos, is you don't have to record a perfect take the whole entire video. And sometimes I know it sort of looks like, when you're watching a video, it looks like, wow, she can deliver her sentences so clean and clear. But when I hit record, I'm like a deer in headlights. It's all editing. Sorry to spoil it for you. But what happens between the clips when you do edit out the dead space between when you finish a sentence and you start another sentence? There's frames in there where there's really nothing happening. And if you leave them in, it starts to feel awkward, unnatural, kind of annoying. So this is more of an editing habit. But what I see a lot with my clients and students is leaving just a little bit too much of a gap between the end of a word and then the beginning of a next word. And I'm not talking about the natural gaps and pauses in phrasing when you're talking. I'm talking about when you're actually making a cut. Because when you're making a cut, it's not a natural pause or a natural, look at me ending a sentence with trying to wait for words to enter my brain. So make sure when you are making cuts that you're zooming way in on those waveforms to make sure that when the one waveform ends, the other waveform begins, and there isn't a long, weird pause. And I say long, weird pause, and it really is only just like a few frames. It could be 10 frames or 15 frames. 15 frames is half a second. And if you have a whole entire video where you have a half a second and a half a second and a half a second of weird, awkward time that feels unnatural, it's all going to add up and make your video feel kind of awkward to watch. Watching people be awkward on camera makes the viewer also feel awkward. Nobody wants to feel that way. Habit number 4 could manifest itself in a couple of different ways, but it's allowing your audio to be way too quiet. It could be a habit of positioning your microphone like a little too far away from your face, or a habit of not even checking your audio settings before you record your video. I've done a couple videos on my channel talking about mic levels, especially with the DJI mic, and sometimes I'm using this, sometimes I am using my podcasting mic. When I'm using this, it's right in front of my face because it's how the microphone works. It needs to be right in front of your face. We want your video to look good, sound good, and feel good. And there's a saying that people will watch a video that looks bad, but they won't watch a video that sounds bad because it literally does not feel good to our ear. I just learned about a free tool from Adobe that allows you to check your actual mic settings and it will tell you if it's okay. But before I show you that, there's one telltale sign that your audio is off, like it's too low when you're recording your videos. And that is that when you're editing, if you have your volume all the way up on your computer so that you can hear it to edit it, then your audio is going to be too low for your viewers. You don't want people to have to put the volume all the way up on your videos, and then when they go watch someone else's, it's like way too loud and they have to bring it back down. I like to make sure that my volume is somewhere in the middle on my computer when I'm editing, and that kind of helps me to know if something really is too loud or really is too quiet. So this is podcast.adobe.com/mic check. I'll put a link to it down below. What you want to do is come up to your sound settings, and I'm going to hit the option button on my keyboard and make sure that I have the right input selected. So I'm going to test this podcasting microphone right here. So this is the ATR 2100. So that's selected under input. So I'm going to hit start, and it's going to tell me to hit the test mic button and then read this sentence. So how is my microphone set up and placement? So it just analyzed that, and it's telling me that my distance to microphone is good. Look at that. It's right in front of my face, just like I said. And my background noise is good. My echo is fine. My gain is too low. Now this will tell you exactly how to fix this. And what you're going to do is come up again to your sound settings, go to sound preferences, and where you have your input, you have your microphone selected, the one you just tested. So we're going to take this input volume wherever it is, and we're going to move it on up. Let's go too far and see if it's actually better. How is my microphone set up and placement? Ah, look at that. It's too far. Let's turn it down. We're going to put it right here. Let's just put it right smack dab in the middle. How is my microphone set up and placement? All right. Now we are within range. So you can test this with any microphone, whatever you're using with your camera or your computer, and make those adjustments. Get this thing out of here. And you can pretty much set it and forget it and know that your audio levels are good to go. Can you see how these habits are so easy to break? And if you're just getting started in your YouTube journey or you have a small audience, if you break them now, you can sit back and relax and know that not that many people saw you make the videos with the bad habits. So now you know the habits to break to prevent you from coming off as beginner or amateurish in your videos. If you're wondering about my whole video creation process, I put everything inside of my YouTube video blueprint, which is a free download. You can grab it through the link down in the description. And you might be wondering now, what could I do to up-level my videos even more? So in my next video, I want to share with you some ways that you can up-level your videos, look a little bit more pro without being a pro and without costing you any money in upgrading your equipment or any extra time in your video creation process. That's a bold promise. So here's to building your thriving YouTube channel. Make sure you follow me here so you can catch my next video.